there early. Don't just get there at 7 o'clock. Get there a little bit earlier than that. You can be in that drone video, and the NDSU multimedia department would really appreciate it, so make sure you get there a little bit early tonight. But that should be a great game. Bison held UND to 49 points the first time out this season, and now you get them at home. You get to be in the home environment, home venue, chance to wash that bad taste from last week at home out of your mouth as well. And all of a sudden, you look at the Summit League standings on the men's side, and we talked about it earlier in the week where you had obviously ORU's at the top, undefeated, and they won by 41 points against Denver last evening, and they might go undefeated. Now, they got some very tough games back half here. I think they have to go to Brookings, not an easy place to go get a win. You have to also they host in ORU in Tulsa, but yet NDSU in there, and NDSU's a good team, and they've won some games on the road in conference already. They swept a conference road weekend already this year. So not an easy game. There's some very difficult games, some games where they can get tripped up. But boy, do they look good. But they're at the top of the standings right now, and for the Summit League men's basketball standings. And NDSU is at 6-3, a half game better basically than NDSU, or sorry, a game better than NDSU, who is sitting at 5-4. We said there's a whole bunch of other teams at that 4-loss mark. Kansas City's got 5-4. Western Illinois 6-4. They were 5-4. Western Illinois wins last night against USD. They get to 6-4, so the Leathernecks now alone in third place in the league because they won last night, gave USD their 5th loss. The Coyotes fall to 4-5. St. Thomas got a win against SDSU, so that brings the Jackrabbits back to the pack at that 6-3 mark, and all of a sudden St. Thomas now at that 5-loss mark. They're back in the middle of the pack kind of conversation at 5-5. So this is a big game for the Bison to get the victory. Would propel you to 6-4 into a tie with Western Illinois. You get the Leathernecks at home later on this season, so that's going to be a huge matchup. But Trenton Masner is playing like a man possessed out there right now. Had over 40 points earlier this week. That was on Monday when they faced UND, I believe. And then had a game winner last night against USD as well. So he is on a tear right now. But you get Western Illinois at home. That's going to be a huge game. You get the other game in Brookings against South Dakota State. That's going to be a big game. But all kind of jumbled up there. This game's important for the Bison to establish themselves as one of those top teams in the Summit League. And we all know you're fighting for one of those top couple of seeds in the conference tournament to have a little bit of an advantage there. You just really don't want to finish in the bottom 4 where they got the play-in game thing. That's new this year, if our fans don't know, because the addition of St. Thomas. Every team will be in the tournament this year, but teams 7, 8, 9, and 10 will kind of play I guess you could call it a play-in game, play-in tournament or scenario there, where 10 faces 7, 8 faces 9. Winner of those games then basically become your 8 or your 7 and 8 seeds, as the typical tournament then would take place at that point. But that's you don't want to be in those bottom 4 of the Bison right now, sitting a game ahead of USD, who is in that 7 spot right now, and then well ahead of teams like Denver, Omaha, and UND that round out the bottom 3 so far in the league. So this game, big for a multitude of reasons there in the standings.
Yeah, and I feel like, going back and looking, just Western was that team coming in this season, and when NDSU got that loss in the row, it's like, man, you lost against Western, but, man, Western's on a tear right now, as you mentioned. 4-game win streak. They're looking good at 6-4. Who would have thought that Western Illinois would be where they're at so far this year? And you mentioned Masner earlier, and some of these guys just playing phenomenal. So Western is that team to kind of keep an eye on. I had my eye on St. Thomas all season. They're not doing bad, sitting at 5-5. But
got to win over SDSU.
And I like how at this point, we're halfway through, and you can start to see what teams are pulling ahead, what teams are falling behind. But that's why I love basketball. A lot of playing time left. And you go back to that play-in game that's coming up, at the end of the season, whenever we get to the tournament and all that, and you don't want to be at the bottom, man. And NDSU, just a couple of wins away. We'll see what South Dakota State does the rest of this season, but NDSU still in a prime spot. If they can get some wins and keep that momentum going, get back on track, I think they can finish second behind Oral Roberts.
All right, now this will be the 307th meeting all-time between NDSU and UND in men's basketball. UND leads the all-time series 163-143, but the Bison with a 15-6 advantage in 21 Division I era meetings, and they have won 9 of the past 11 over the Fighting Hawks, and a little bit of a win streak going there against the in-state rival. Both teams do. The women riding an 8-game winning streak and trying to go up to UND, a place where the Fighting Hawks women's basketball team has yet to lose. A 9-0 record at home. Bison going to try to go up there and spoil that thing and get a win over them and make it 9 in a row for NDSU women's basketball. But the men, nice little winning streak against UND. I think this is one of those eras. Every program, you go through ups and downs through different eras of your program's history. This is a time where UND's been a little bit down for a couple of years. Only one win in conference this year. And NDSU looks primed to hopefully get another win over the in-state rival and make it. What would that be in a row then for you, Rob?
4, which would be an all-time. They have never won 4 in a row. And here's another stat: NDSU men's basketball in the D1 era. I know that before that there was a lot more meetings, but in the Division I era, they have also never lost more than 1 game versus UND. So,
so never lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, never lost 2 in a row. So
okay, there you go.
Opportunity tonight to make it 4 in a row and start a new chapter there.
And speaking of NDSU men's basketball and that matchup, one of our guests today, Rob Hipp's conversation with Bison forward Joshua Streit. That will be on the program, a guy that coming off the bench, I think he's playing a bigger role than maybe I even expected him to when the season got going. You know what you're getting from Grant Nelson, Andrew Morgan. You needed another big, somebody off the bench to give you some minutes. Streit's that guy, and maybe not filling up the stat sheet in terms of points every single time out there, but rebounding, and particularly offensive rebounding, dude's been fantastic.
Yeah, one of the nicest guys that you could ever meet, too. All the guys are so fun to be around and so nice, but Joshua is just that he's that guy that kind of goes out of his way to be nice in a good way. I like people like that. He always comes up to you. I was there at practice yesterday. He comes up, pats me on the back. Hey, Rob, how's it going? He's the pat on the back kind of guy, and I like that. Mm-hmm. Good dude.
Does
really
he pat
fun.
you on the left shoulder and then go to the right to do that?
No,
thing?
not that.
Okay,
that's like double nice. He's single nice right now.
There you go. So Joshua Streit, about 12:30 or so, we'll play that conversation for you. Really good player in this men's basketball team. I know lost a couple of games that last week, so I got to wash that taste out of your mouth. Before that, they were rolling with a 5-game winning streak. Would love to start another winning streak. That 5-game winning streak was started with a win against UND up in Grand Forks. So hopefully we can start another 5 and maybe even longer than 5-game winning streak here during the back half of the schedule. The second time through the conference schedule starts tonight for NDSU men's basketball and starts tomorrow for the women's basketball team against UND as they face the team for the second time, and things always change. Adjustments are made. We'll see what adjustments are made by both sides when that game gets going. Again, 7 o'clock the tip-off, but get there 6:45, even 6:40. Get there early, get in your seat, maybe get some concessions or something if you want to early on, and make sure you're in your seat there early for that NDSU multimedia drone flyover. They'll be getting some great footage of the crowd there inside the shack, and hopefully be able to use that for years to come as well. So make sure you get there a little bit early for the start of this one tonight between the Bison and the Fighting Hawks. At 12:30 will be Joshua Streit. Very excited, though. Guest before that at noon today. You get to hear from him for the first time on these airwaves. The defensive coordinator for NDSU and Code Green, Jason Petrino, will be stopping by the program. Extremely excited to get our first chance to talk with the new DC, the new coach, and pick his brain about defensive philosophy, why NDSU, Missouri Valley football, a guy that spent a lot of years coaching in this conference, and just his thoughts overall on NDSU and how you go about coaching up this Code Green defense. It's going to have a lot of new faces next season. That's just the reality of it. We've mentioned it a couple of times. The secondary is going to be completely brand new from what you have expected, what you have seen at the start of this last season. It's going to have all new starters. You don't have a James Kaiser. You don't have a Spencer Wagey. You got some new pieces in the linebacker core and on the defensive line. Now, names you've seen before. Maybe a bigger role for Cole Wisniewski than he's already had, which has already been a big role. Maybe a bigger role for Logan Kopp, who we saw for some extended minutes earlier this year. And then defensive line, you're going to have some newer faces up there too. And hopefully you get a guy like Eli Mostart, who was injured for the vast majority of the year. You get him back, and hopefully he can have a huge impact for you. But we'll touch on that stuff with the new defensive coordinator, Jason Petrino, who will join us coming up later on in the show. I'm very excited about that interview we'll have at noon.
Yeah, excited to have him on. And one of the questions that I'll have for him is just the recruiting process. And, can we expect maybe some different recruits from outside of the area? I know this season's that's kind of already out, but down the road, there's a lot of opportunities, and we'll see where he grows that program on that side of things. Also, we're going to flex our creative muscle, or at least we're going to let Micah Bindi flex his creative muscle. He made a little this could go poor. This is why I say this show is going to go one of two ways, or it could go a multitude of ways, because Jason Petrino, great coach, and we might ruin the relationship with him on the very first time we have him. I'm hoping not, but when Micah Bindi's got a little bit of a creative intro for the DC. We'll get his thoughts on it. We'll let him have a decision on if that should be something going forward. But it has to do with a certain, I guess you would say, pop singer, R&B singer, who has the same first name as Jason Petrino, and that would be
Jason Derulo, who apparently was the first name we all thought of when we heard Jason Petrino for some reason.
It just has the same ring to it.
It does have the same ring.
That's the hint.
We've got a little bit of, I guess, an intro for him. I'm trying to build Micah's confidence up, Rob. I'm trying to give him some things to do to build the confidence up a little bit. So we're going to give him a chance here.
The way that we should have went about this is, and I know it's creative juices. It went on the fly. It sounds good. Should have thrown this by Scott Anderson first. He could have given us the thumbs up or thumbs down on this one.
Yeah, it would have been a thumbs down. So I think it's one of those. I think he's going to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. We'll see how it goes.
No, it'll go great.
He'll go
enjoy
great.
it.
And the coach is a good guy, and looking forward to having him on in all seriousness. But definitely a huge hire. It really is. It's a big-time hire for NDSU. For any program, when you bring in a coordinator position, that's going to be a very important piece to the puzzle moving forward. So Jason Petrino at 12 o'clock today. Make sure you're listening to that one. We'll get the first thoughts there from the DC on our show. And also at 11:25 today, about 10 minutes from right now, we'll preview the NDSU baseball season. And everyone in the cars and in the offices just went, wait, what? Baseball season? What are you talking about? It gets going in not even a month. It gets going in roughly 22 days from right now. NDSU baseball has their first game. They travel out to Sacramento, California to take on Sacramento State in a 4-game series. On February 17th is when it gets going. And Rob just lost his headphones. There we go. We got him back. But
I got excited about baseball.
I know, you were shocked, just like everybody else in their car was. Baseball season's going. You can't believe it. It gets going here. It sneaks up on everybody, including the head coach, Tyler Oaks, who will join us at 11:25. My conversation with T.O. and get his thoughts on this baseball team coming up. Some newer faces. You don't have some of the guys that have been here for the last handful of years. A guy like Charlie Hesse stands out to you. You had to turn over a little bit of names on the infield and the pitching staff as well, but you bring back a lot of big-time names too, especially on that pitching staff. A Cade Feeney, a Max Lovin, Tristan Rorich, some names that have helped the Bison win a Summit League tournament title and a Summit League regular season title over the last 2 years. They are defending regular season champions of the Summit League. They get going here again in less than a month. Their first home game is obviously a long ways down the road after that, but they will get going with actual games here in less than a month. So we'll preview the baseball season coming up at 11:25 with the head coach.
Yeah, I saw some of those guys already coming out of the Nodex, so they're utilizing the indoor facility as well. And
they've been in and out of there quite a bit.
That's what I love about that facility is that, it's not just for football. Everyone's able to partake of it, and the guys are enjoying being there as they should be. They've got an opportunity now to get a lot more work done and not have to worry about this nice winter weather. Baseball,
softball, men's and women's golf. Everybody's using that facility, too. It says NODAC Football Performance Center, but everybody's been using that stuff, especially as it continues to get finished up and you continue to put more netting up there. And then the other side of the building, too, gets finished up. Just a great facility that, again, Matt Larson, NDSU Athletics, the whole staff did a great job designing that thing, getting it up and going, and another great improvement to the facilities upgrades here at North Dakota State University. So there's the lay of the land for you on the show. A couple of guests that we'll have on, and obviously plenty of preview of these two big basketball games for the men and the women throughout the show. You guys got any questions for us? Anything you want us to ask the new DC? What are you interested to know about Jason Petrino? Other than his name kind of sounds like Jason Derulo, which is apparently all that Micah Bindi cares about. But anything else you want to know about the new defensive coordinator, anything you'd like a chance to ask him, feel free to send those our way. We can ask them if we can get to all of them. 701-476-1660, the number to text us at there. Or you can email the Rick Electric email inbox, studio@bison1660.com. If you want to come on the show with us as well. Won't be taking phone calls when we have guests on, but want to come on the show and talk about something else. If you want to talk NFL playoffs happening this weekend, we will pick those games too. NFC and AFC Championship games. We just want to shoot some questions our way. Feel free to call us on the Epic Companies hotline, 701-476-1660. There you go. Looking forward to, again, talking with Tyler Oaks coming up here in just about 5 minutes or so. When you look at Bison basketball, obviously we've mentioned these are big-time games. Grant Nelson's been phenomenal. Grant Nelson's a really good player. I think Andrew Morgan started to get that consistency that you're looking for. We've known the talent's been there. He's obviously a big body, a guy that's hard to move in the paint. Defensively is starting to come along a little bit too. It's been fun to see. I feel like the Bison men's team, when they've been really, really good, they've had phenomenal guard play. That's where they've kind of separated themselves and where they've won a lot of those games on the road, defensively at the guard positions, and then not turning the ball over as well. Let the guard play. This game and the rest of the season is going to be important for the Bison.
Yeah, it's a good point, I think, too, Andy. Another thing that Mike and I talk about, too, and Mike has brought this up on shoot-around as well, is just not getting into foul trouble early, and that's really been the deciding factor over a few of these games where Damari Wheeler-Thomas, DWT, gets into foul trouble early. Andrew Morgan gets into foul trouble early. You've got to keep those guys out of those foul situations so they can be on the court. And you go back to the guard position, a guy like Damari Wheeler-Thomas who brings a lot of energy, Jakari White. I'm looking for him to have a rebound. I mean, that was and we can talk about it because Coach has mentioned it too. You know, that was not a great performance by Jakari versus Kansas City, and he knows that, and he's going to turn it around and learn from it. Young guy, he has came so long in a short amount of time for this Bison men's basketball program. So I expect him to be out with energy tonight, bring that back, and then these guys are not going to get into foul trouble early. I think that they're disciplined. They're going to turn things around.
Last time out against UND back on December 30th, Grant Nelson, 18 points, 8 rebounds. Andrew Morgan put up 15 points and 8 rebounds and had 3 blocks. And then Bowden Skunberg added 14 points, 6 boards. They 3 players who, coming into the year, you said, Andrew Morgan, Grant Nelson, Bowden Skunberg. You can shift the order around if you want. No order in particular. But those 3 players have to perform and perform well for NDSU to have shots, especially early on in the season. And those 3 combined for 47 points. Keep in mind, the Bison only gave up 49 points in that game. They had 47, just those 3. If those 3 can play anything close to that level again, and the Bison shooting 48% from the field in that game, and then limiting UND to 30% shooting, you get anything close to that, the Bison will win this one and probably win it going away.
Yeah, and if we get up huge, and that's what I'm hoping for, let's get down to the fourth quarter. As time winds down, let's get up by about 20, and then the sugar on top, the cherry on top, however you want to, I guess it's a cherry on top. I like to put a little sugar on top, too.
Creme brulee.
Ryan Sletton comes in the ball game tonight. 3 minutes to go. Bison are up. He'll make his first basket. The place is going to go nuts.
With his Kirko chains on.
That's right.
Has to be wearing Kirko chains, though.
Richmond will put the chains on him before he goes into the game.
I doubt that, probably. But maybe. Could happen.
We'll have the initials RS, the RS chains. Those are happening.
Only for Ryan Sletton. Great addition to the Bison men. Also, NDSU hit 10 of 21 three-pointers in that last game against UND. You make 10 threes, I think the Bison will be in fine shape in this one as well. Again, 7 o'clock tip-off there tonight. Bison and the Fighting Hawks get there early, though, to be in that drone video from our friend Scott Anderson and the crew there at NDSU Video Production and Multimedia. Take our first break, though. We'll come back. How about some baseball conversation? We'll preview the baseball season. My conversation with head coach Tyler Oakes on the other side. You're listening to The Insiders, brought to you by Proceed, your home for the Right Choice and Right Stuff programs, and online at proceed.net. If you need seed, think Proceed. Bison Baseball coming next.
Champions play here.
This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. No disrespect whatsoever, but I'm sorry to tell everybody the truth. He has small hands. He can't catch the ball.
Your home for the Thundering Herd. Bison 1660.
We take great pride in really doing all the research and the work behind the scenes to make sure that our products just work.
We have our own staff member that helps pick the hybrids and the varieties that work in our area. It's meant for you, not for somebody 200 miles away.
We test our seed locally. We produce our seed locally, so we get to see our production fields, where they need to be, and if they work there.
Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net. Great seed at a reasonable price.
In 1953, Bill Samuels created a simple bourbon, while Margie Samuels worked on her creative vision. A bottle hand-dipped in red wax, wrapped in a hand-cut label, filled with handcrafted bourbon that elevated flavor and remains unchanged as of today. Aromas of woody oak, caramel, and vanilla, with a taste that is sweet and balanced with caramel, vanilla, and fruity essences. Every barrel of Maker's Mark is aged to taste, not time. Maker's Mark, the star of your home bar. Please drink responsibly.
Stop by Gateway Chevrolet and check out their great selection of in-stock Chevy cars and trucks ready for immediate delivery. Take advantage of invoice pricing on new 2023 Chevrolet Equinox and invoice pricing on new 2023 Chevrolet Silverados only at Gateway Chevrolet. Plus, find out about 2.9% financing on select Chevrolet models. That's right, 2.9% on select Chevrolets and invoice pricing on 2023 Equinox and Silverados at Gateway Chevrolet. Find new roads. Details gatewayfargo.com. fargo.com.
Did you know hyperbaric oxygen can decrease inflammation and speed up your healing process dramatically? I'm Menly with Fargo's first hyperbaric oxygen center, Healing with Hyperbarics, conveniently located off 45th Street. We are celebrating 4 years in Fargo, and as the experts in treating concussions, brain injuries, sports injuries, and post-COVID symptoms, we welcome you to find out how we can help you heal. We have an FDA-approved device to diagnose concussions and can treat the same day to get you back to feeling better faster. Find out how we can help you at healingwithhyperbarics.com.
Rick Electric wants to say thanks for a great 2022 and looks forward to serving you and all new customers in the new year. Plus, Rick Electric wants to say thanks for voting them the best electrical contractor in the Red River Valley. Since 1964, Rick Electric has been serving homeowners and businesses with troubleshooting, repairs, new construction, and over a dozen projects in my home. Rick Electric. Schedule online or request an estimate at rickelectric.com.
Dakota Refrigeration, now known as DRI, has been serving Minnesota, the Dakotas, and Montana for over 4 decades. Locally owned and operated since 1974, DRI is a full-service source for your refrigeration, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and electrical service needs. From the entryway to the kitchen, from hot to cold, from dreary to bright, DRI has you covered. DRI, formerly Dakota Refrigeration, with locations in Fargo, Bismarck, and Minot, online at dacref.com.
You're listening to your home for NDSU athletics.
To the 10, cut to get in.
Bison 1660.
Welcome back into the Insiders here on a Friday, finishing up the week once again, getting ready for this big basketball game tonight. NDSU men's basketball against UND, the in-state rivalry renewed on the hard court once again. But right now, we shift focus and talk some Bison baseball? Yeah, that's right. It's just a couple of weeks away from getting going with actual games. Obviously, the home games at Newman Outdoor Field, more than a couple of weeks away from getting going, but the season does kick off here for the Bison baseball team in just a couple of weeks. Their first game coming up on February 17th in California at Sacramento State, a little 4-game series there to kick off the year for Bison baseball. The reigning Summit League regular season champions and the head coach of Bison baseball joins us now on the Epic Companies Hotline. One Tyler Oakes, nice enough to stop by on a Friday. Coach, great to have you on. Great to hear from you again. How was the quote unquote off season for you? How's that gone so far?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been good. You know, it was good to. It was a quick summer, obviously, where we were out recruiting and trying to fill our recruiting class and see as much as we can. And our guys are out at different summer leagues across the country playing or working out. And once they got on campus, it was good to see everyone again and a good handful of new incoming guys that we're excited about too. And so I thought fall was really productive for us and got a lot of really good work in and learned a lot more about our team. And then last couple weeks since guys got back to school, we've just had some small group workouts, and our first official team practice will be tomorrow on Saturday. So I know guys are definitely looking forward to that too. That's crazy. The first official team practice, it's what you said tomorrow, so the 28th. Your first game is on the 17th. That's not even a full month of official practice. I know you guys do other things as well, but isn't it kind of crazy how quickly this season, this sport in particular, just kind of ramps up once the season gets going? Yeah, it's definitely crazy, and our guys have done a really good job of when they go home for winter break, we can't have any in-person contact or instruction with them, so it's all on their plate to get everything that they need done that the coaching staff sends with them or the strength coach, Coach Miller, sends with them. And most of our guys came in back in really good shape, and were able to hit the ground running instead of playing catch up so much. So, these next 3 weeks are important for our team to, kind of continue to ramp things up and get a little bit more game-like action. So that way, February 17th, we're ready to hit the ground running. One thing we say in all sports, and before we touch on the team too much, we'll touch on some of the other changes around the program. One thing we say for all sports is you need some really good practice facilities. You need somewhere to get some of that practice in, and we've seen the practice facilities upgraded. The other facilities across NDSU Athletics really upgraded over these last handful of years. Matt Larson and the staff there at NDSU Athletics have done a really good job updating all the facilities. One is that new No-Deck Insurance Football Performance Complex, obviously not used for just football, but the new indoors being
being used for baseball as well. I've seen a lot of the pictures on Twitter and stuff of the team in there getting some work in, some infield work and some other things out there. How much will that facility change things for you guys, and how nice has it been to be inside there so far instead of being in the bubble?
Yeah, I think you put it well, where I think their administration has done an extremely great job of giving every sport facilities and resources for them to be as successful as they can, and that building is just another example of that. And we've been in there for 2-3 weeks now, and it's not still quite netted all the way around, where we are a little bit limited, but it's such a huge space where we can get a ton of great work in. And compared to the bubble, it's 65 degrees in there and well lit. So our guys have really enjoyed the new facility, and obviously it helps from a recruiting standpoint too, where we're at geographically in the sport we're trying to play. Having those facilities and resources at our disposal is key in trying to continue to bring in top talent from around the area and around the country. So yeah, it's been awesome, and look forward to that thing getting completely finished, where we can hit out in the open a little bit more and have some more flexibility. But so far, we've still been able to get some really good work in.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that facility, as it continues to get finished up here over the next couple of months, will be even better, not just for football, but for baseball, softball, the golf facility, or golf teams, I should say, and all the other programs there at NDSU. Let's focus on the team here a little bit, and reigning Summit League regular season champions from last year, which means the Summit League tournament's going to be at Newman Outdoor Field this year, a huge advantage for your squad. But it's been back-to-back years here of some really good success. Winning the conference tournament, winning a game in the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago, last year the regular season title. Do you feel like this program is building momentum, and the players on this team who have been here for those last 2 years, especially those players, kind of have a little bit different, mindset or aspirations coming into the year?
I don't think it hurts, right? I think, the success that we've been having the last couple of years, and I don't love the term culture because it's so cliche, but the buy-in, the expectation level has risen too, and I think that always is helpful when you have a core group of guys that have been around for a while now. You guys get guys that have played a ton, like Peter Brookshaw, Max Loven, just guys like that. Cade Feeney's now a junior and had 2 years under his belt, so we return a lot of guys that know what it's all about and know how to win. And expect to win, and I think that's when kind of your expectations can change, is when your guys take over, the players take charge of it. It's not the coaches having to dictate everything too. And our guys have done a really good job of enhancing those expectations. And I think our coaching staff's philosophy too is trying to continue to break the stereotype, I guess, especially geographically of North Dakota State and baseball. And putting together a non-conference schedule that, in my opinion, is probably a top 10, top 15 non-con schedule in the entire country. So we're willing to challenge these guys because I know they're up for the test too, and we'll continue to work hard. But I think we're continuing to build on something special, and the brand of NDSU baseball is getting out there more, where we're getting a little bit more respect, which is nice because I think those guys deserve it. And we'll keep plugging away and see what we can make of this season.
The best thing about this squad the last couple of years, they've been really balanced. Some big-time hitters in big-time spots coming up with clutch hits for you, but also on the mound been really, really solid. I know you've been really focused on that pitching side of things in the past. Obviously, now as the head coach, you're overseeing the whole program. But let's start first with the pitching side of things. Max Loven, Cade Feeney going to be the headliners for you again. I think that bullpen, you lose a couple guys, but you bring a couple guys back. I was really excited about last year with how they performed, especially towards the back end of that bullpen for you. Guys like Rorich and Reidinger and Zetterman as well. Just where do you look at the pitching side as it comes into the year? What do you like about it?
I think we got extreme depth, both pitching and position player side, but pitching-wise, when you can headline your rotation with Cade Feeney and Max Loven. We're going to try to bump Tristan Rorich into one of those spots too, since he's had experience kind of doing both. And so when you have those three guys, especially that have had a ton of experience and a ton of success, it makes our coaching staff feel really good about putting the ball in their hand to start games out for us and getting us off to a good start and putting ourselves in a position to win each and every day we take the field. And then, obviously we have to replace a guy like Jake Drew and Evan Sankey, and I think we have the guys that are able to do it. They maybe haven't had the experience yet to showcase that. But that's where guys like Joey Danielson had a really good fall. He was up to 95 miles an hour, and I could see him as a guy at the back end of our bullpen. Skylar Readinger's had some really good winter workouts so far, and is a really good spot. Junior college pitcher and Carson Jacobs. He's a big, tall, 6'8", 6'9", right-handed pitcher that pitches in the low to mid 90s. So I definitely think we have some options. Wyatt Nelson's a guy that's pitched a ton of innings too. So it's just going to take us probably the first couple weeks or months of the season to figure out maybe what guys fit in certain roles. And I think we have some freshman pitchers too that are going to make an immediate impact for us. It's just making sure that we can use them in spots to keep building their confidence so that they can kind of take off as the season goes too. But feel really good about where our pitching staff's at, and especially with the experience we have coming back.
What's the next step for a guy like Cade Feeney? I think he came onto the scene and lit the world on fire a little bit as a true freshman, and wasn't perfect, but you said, man, as a true freshman, that's about as good as you can do for that freshman year. Had some big games in the tournament for you guys, both the conference tournament and the NCAA tournament a couple years ago was, just as good last year. I think he backed it up and proved it wasn't just a fluky freshman year. But what's the next step for him to be someone that's considered for, pitcher of the year in the league type of honors?
Yeah, I think for Cade, he's a winner. He's won every step of the way in high school. Now that he's been at college, and so our guys feel really confident when he takes the mound and kind of take that winning mindset as a team when he takes over. I think the next step for him, he's already kind of shown it, is just kind of developing a third pitch. Mainly, he'd been a fastball slider type guy. He's finally starting to believe in his changeup, and it's probably even his second pitch, in my opinion. And that thing's kind of taken off, and like I said, he's gotten a ton of confidence in it right now. So some of the short live sessions we've had so far this winter, that's been a much improved pitch. And so now he becomes a 3-pitch, strike thrower with improved velocity in the low 90s too. It's only going to help him, and just his ability to command the zone and throw multiple pitches will definitely help take him to another level too. So I think that would be my answer to the question of just developing a third pitch, which he's done, and now we'll see if he can carry that through as the season goes along too.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing him and that whole staff on the mound. When it comes to the players in the field and at the plate for you, I think I start with Peter Brookshaw, a guy that you talk about experience. He's got about as much as you can at this point of his career. He's been great for you. I still see a Schwabe on the roster, which is always great to see one of them on that roster still for you. And some other interesting players as well, guys like Terrell Huggins, who we've seen kind of in spot duty, I think might be in a bigger or a larger role for you as well this year. Who are some of those standouts at the plate and in the field?
Yeah, I think, like you said, Brookshaw will anchor things kind of near the top or middle of our order. And he'll hopefully stay at shortstop the entire time. I thought he did a really nice job last year stepping in and filling some big shoes of Bennett Hostetler and everything as well. So he's an experienced player. We're hoping that he had a really good fall again, and hoping he can kind of put it all together, because for me, he can be an all-conference type player or a player of the year type candidate too with his skill set at the plate. And then you got Caden Schwabe. We'll stick him in center field, and hopefully he'll be kind of our leadoff guy looking at it, because he's just a pest when he gets on the base, is able to create some chaos and maybe get some guys in the middle of the order some pitches to hit too. So the way he plays is kind of the epitome of how we want to play as a team, and plays with that chip on his shoulder. And then, like you mentioned, Terrell Huggins is the guy that came in last year as a junior college guy and maybe tried to feel his way out a little bit. And so far this fall and the winter workouts, he's been really, really good. And, I think he's the guy that we can throw in really any outfield spot. We'll probably start him in left field and give him some consistent playing time. I think last year that was the one thing that might have hindered him a little bit, was just being in and out of the lineup and never getting any consistency. And I think if he gets consistent at bats, he brings another dynamic to our lineup that we really need as a team. And then you got guys like Will Bush behind the plate, defensive guy that hit well last year for us, but he's going to have to anchor things defensively for us now as a junior. And then we feel good about some of the incoming guys that we brought into Jack Stiles, a transfer from Nebraska. I see him playing a lot of third base or first base and kind of hitting the middle of our order. He's a big physical guy that can hit for some power. Stephen Lund is a graduate transfer catcher from Gonzaga. He showed premium ability to hit, and he'll be a guy that's definitely going to be in the middle of our order and can be a guy that can make a huge impact for us. And he'll catch a little bit, maybe a little bit of time at first base and DH as well. And then, we got a little Energizer Bunny and Dallin Quigley's a little guy from Paris Junior College in Texas that brings a ton of energy to our team, plus speed. And he's got a little juice for his size too, and brings another dynamic. So we feel really good about the depth we have, and I feel bad because I could mention another 7 or 8 guys. And so as a coach, that's a good problem to have, in my opinion. Is you always want 9 guys, but when you have to choose through maybe 14, 15 different guys, it's a good thing that you have that competition on your team and guys that can step up at any point in time as well.
And a guy that I missed as well, I want to make sure I mention the name, Drew Sackett, I think is also a player. Got some playing time last year, obviously, and I think the senior from Fruita, Colorado is going to play a big role for you. But you kind of went to where I wanted to go next, and that was the transfers. You haven't been shy at all about bringing players into this program and using that, whether it be a grad transfer, whether it be the transfer portal or anything like that, bringing some players in to fill some positions for you. Last year it was Logan Williams coming in that burst onto the scene, had all the power, all the home runs, and was a huge addition to you. You mentioned a couple of guys there that I'm really interested in Jack Stile and Stephen Lund. Do you see somebody like one of those two or somebody else maybe having that same impact that a Logan Williams had for you last year?
I think both those guys, they're going to play a lot early. They both have a lot of experience. Obviously, Jack Stile being a junior this year, he played his first 2 years at Nebraska. Like I said, I think he's going to start out at third, and then he might have to play some first base at times as well. But a guy that's a big physical guy that adds a little bit of power to our lineup that we desperately need with losing Logan Williams, and then Stephen Lund too is a guy that has played for 3 or 4 years now, and had an injury last year that he kind of played through at Gonzaga, but the year before that he was one of their top leading hitters, and so he's brought kind of a leadership and experience tangible to our team too. That he's a great kid. He works really hard. He's got a great personality too. That he doesn't make the moment bigger than what it is, and so someone that we can really rely on, I think, to drive in some runs. And he'll hit a couple home runs probably for us, but he's more of a gap-to-gap guy. Probably hit a ton of doubles, and then stabilize kind of our catching position too, when Bush might need a day off and things like that as well. So we're really excited about those guys, and whenever you can add, not only great players but really great people to your team, and utilize the transfer portal. In that way, I think it's definitely a benefit.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what those players add, and it's nice that you get some players that have a little bit of extra time too. It's not just a one and done situation. You get guys that might have a couple of years here in a Bison uniform. Again, head coach of Bison baseball, Tyler Oakes, here with us. One last question for you, Coach. Wanted to end with this. I saw there's some winter camps going on for Bison baseball. Already had one back on the 22nd for grades 7 through 12, but got one coming up actually this weekend. Winter baseball camp pitching and catching Sunday, January 29th for grades 7 through 12, and also the winter youth baseball camp on February 5th, just a couple of weeks before that season gets going for you. K through 6th on February 5th for the winter youth baseball camp, and people can go online and register there, NDSUbaseballcamps.com. You can find the link also on GoBison.com. But what is it about these camps that you love, and how have they been so far with that first one already wrapped up?
Yeah, no, the camps are awesome because we get an opportunity to see different kids from different areas of all ages, really. Like our hitting camp and pitching camp are grades 7 through 12, and so you get a mixture of ages, and you get to see these kids from different areas too become friends or get to know each other, which is kind of cool as well. And then it's just a really good experience for the kids, hopefully, to learn from our coaching staff, and it's more of a fundamental, and hopefully they can take some things with them. We have some of our players working it as well, so they get to know some of our players, and then also with the new indoor facility, you get to check that thing out and be a part of that as well. And so, yeah, the camps are awesome, and we really appreciate kind of the support that we get from people that are coming and making the trek. I know Fargo sometimes isn't the easiest to get to, maybe from for people from the cities or from Iowa, Nebraska. But it's cool to see people from different areas making the trip to Fargo to be a part of our camps, and it's cool for our coaching staff to get to know some of these different people too, and continue to support the community of Fargo as well.
Again, one coming up here this weekend, Sunday, January 29th, and then that winter youth baseball camp, Bison Nation. Get the future generations of the Bison baseball team out there, grades K through 6th on February 5th. Go on to gobison.com, click on sports, and then baseball. You'll find the story, and the link is in there. It's ndsubaseballcamps.com. First game for Bison baseball coming up on the 17th of February out in California against Sacramento State. First home game's up for a little while after that, but are you ready to get that meteorologist hat on for us as well this season, Coach?
I'll wait on it as long as I can, especially with the winter we've had and the cold spell we have here this next week or two.
Yep.
But when we can get home, it'll be nice, especially with how much we'll be on the road. I know myself and our guys enjoy trying to get home and be around. I get to be around my wife and dog a little bit, and I know the coaching staff gets to be around family and friends, and same with our players. So yeah, we'll definitely look forward to it once we get to that point.
Home opener tentatively scheduled for April 18th against Mayville State. First home series against Oral Roberts, April 21st through the 23rd. So mark your calendars now, Bison Nation. The head coach of Bison Baseball, Tyler Oaks, nice enough to join us on our Epic Companies hotline. Coach, always appreciate these conversations. Happy that the baseball season is upon us and looking forward to seeing what the Bison can do here this year. Thanks for the time and best of luck.
Yep, thanks, Andy. Appreciate it.
Tyler Oaks, head coach, Bison Baseball, and that season sneaks up on you every single year. And looking forward to having the Summit League tournament here in Fargo at Newman Outdoor Field. It's a huge advantage for them, and hopefully you can back up last season's regular season title with another regular season title and then some, maybe even a tournament title again this year for Bison Baseball. This hour of The Insiders brought to you by Rick Electric. When you need electrical work, you need Rick Electric. For over 56 years, Rick Electric has been providing excellent electrical services for homes and businesses. Visit them online at rickelectric.com. And also, our show today brought to you in part by the great folks over at Twin Peaks. If you like free stuff, then I encourage you to sign up for the Twin Peaks E-Club. They stay up to date on all things Twin Peaks and score free stuff. Eats, drinks, scenic views at Twin Peaks, online at twinpeaksrestaurants.com. Take a break, come back, wrap up hour number one, maybe with some NFC and AFC Championship conversation. What do you think about these two games? How are they going to play out, and who are going to be the difference makers? Give you that when we come back.
The most complete Bison coverage in the region. Your Bison Nation station.
You are deep in thought, which is always dangerous.
Bison 1660.
Keeping a home clean with kids who play hockey, the dog, cat, it can be a real challenge. You just never know what is going to be next. And trust me, there will be a next. The Stomatic specialists are trained to remove contaminants and dirt that are lodged deep in the fibers of your carpet. When we are done, your home will feel and smell like brand new. We even clean the drapes, upholstery, and air ducts. For a free home estimate, call Stomatic today.
Stomatic, call 232-4707.
Buckle up. Brunch is now being served at your Twin Peaks Lodge. Wake up with the scratch favorites you love and classic brunch drinks that won't break the bank. No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, they have everything from tequila cocktails and extensive bourbons to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out an adventurous drink menu second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree man-sized drafts. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
Here's your Red River Valley weather update on Bison 1660.
Patchy blowing snow throughout early afternoon, otherwise partly sunny with temps falling to the single digits. Wind gusts as high as 45 miles per hour, and overnight mostly cloudy with a low around 12 below. This weather update brought to you by Minn Kota Windows. Just when your kids thought it was time to head outside, a cold snap rolls in. Ditch the coat and snuggle up with peace of mind, knowing that Minn Kota's energy-efficient vinyl will block out the brutal cold and save you money. Midwest built, Midwest tough, guaranteed for life.
Hi, I'm Grant Nelson, NDSU Bison basketball player. Whether it's playing basketball or driving in my car, I want to do everything to the best of my ability, on the court and off the court. So when I'm in the car, I up my game with the Drive for Less program from Nodak Insurance. I could save up to 30% on my premium just for driving safely. To me, that's a slam dunk. Download the Nodak Insurance app today.
Hey everyone, my name is Justin and I'm the general manager at Corwin Honda. I wanted to let you know that the wait is finally over and I have over 50 new 2022 pilots ready to sell and I don't want these sitting on my lot. So right now, I'll take up to $2,000 off all 2022 pilots and you can get financing as low as 1.9%. That's right, up to $2,000 off and financing as low as 1.9%. So come visit us over at Corwin Honda or shop online today at corwinauto.com.
When it's time to find a realtor, word of mouth is important. And Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty is a name Bison Nation says often. Todd has helped everyone from coaches and administrators to broadcasters and former players and their families buy homes in the FM area. So many in Bison Nation trust Todd to buy and sell their homes, and you can too. Call Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty today or visit him at 4832 Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. Todd is a proud partner and the preferred realtor of NDSU Athletics. Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty. Moving the herd, one home at a time.
Hey, Bison Nation. This is NDSU quarterback Cam Miller.
This one is a keeper by Miller. Left side touchdown.
And you're listening to The Insiders on Bison 1660.
Welcome back to The Insiders. Our show today brought to you in part by Hanson Runsfield Funeral Home. They proudly support the Bison, and Hanson Runsfield is dedicated to helping families look to the future with hope. And remember, what you do today shapes your memories for tomorrow. Enjoy the Bison experience and live life to the fullest. Go Bison for Hanson Runsfield Funeral Home. Andy Rickoff, Rob Hipp, and Micah Bindi in here with you. We do also have our final pair for the final time. Even though today's the opening day of it, we have one more pair for you. One more pair of tickets for the 2023 Red River Valley Boat and Marine Product Show at the Fargo Dome today through Sunday, the 27th through the 29th. Text the keyword BOAT. That's BOAT to 701-476-1660. If your chance to win, you'll be registered, but your chance to win 2 tickets to the 2023 Red River Valley Boat and Marine Products Show. Coming up here in just a matter of minutes, we'll have the newest defensive coordinator for NDSU football, Jason Petrino, that will join us. We'll get his thoughts on the position, the task at hand for NDSU, and obviously there's a lot of things that attract you to this position, but what attracted him in particular, and kind of pick his brain a little bit on why he wanted to become the defensive coordinator here at NDSU. Again, send in your questions, your comments for him, and we'll try and get to some of those when we have him on. We do have a few of those that have already kind of come trickling in. Brian, we see that one. We see a few other ones in there. Dan with a text to us as well, and a few other text messages coming in on our text line. One of them says, "Hello, Rob." Don't have a name from this individual that's texting in.
Know who that is.
Yeah, we are season ticket holders for NDSU men's and women's basketball, and we'll be at the game tonight. And it's my daughter's 16th birthday this week. Any chance you could hook me up with the arena announcer to wish her a happy birthday?
Hey, I appreciate it, Dustin.
Do you have that kind of pull?
I
don't. Dustin, from Dustin.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's from Dustin. I don't have that kind of pull, but I can tell you what, we can say right here, right now on The Insiders, we want to wish your daughter a very happy 16th birthday. We can do it on the air here. I just don't have that pull yet there with none other than Dan Michaels to be able to announce that.
Well, the thing, Dustin, is we're going to at least need your daughter's name. So we're going to for sure need that. If you send that to us, we can say it on The Insiders for sure.
Send us the name.
And maybe even on the broadcast tonight. We can wish her a happy birthday.
I will gladly share it on the broadcast tonight.
There you
Just
go.
send me the name. I will gladly say it on the broadcast, and we'll say it here on The Insiders.
There you go. We need the name, but appreciate the text in from Dustin there on our text line. Also, Dan with how many former Bison football players are currently training for either or both the NFL Combine and the NDSU Pro Day, besides the obvious. I know Michael Tutsi is, and I think Dawson Weber is as well. There's a bunch of them, Dan, to tell you the truth. You named a couple of them, Michael Tutsi, Dawson Weber. No Combine for them, but I'm sure they'll be at NDSU Pro Day. I know that. Talked to Tutsi and Weber about that. They're going to be giving this whole NFL thing a try, and they should. I guess they're talented football players, so they'll be at NDSU Pro Day. Then I think the obvious ones, Combine, the 3 Combine invitees are Noah Gendorf, Cody Malk, and Hunter Lipke. Now, Hunter, I don't believe will be able to take part in any drills, but the Combine's also, you got interviews with different GMs, coaches, all that kind of stuff. Every team's got representatives there, and you can have interviews and a chance to be in front of scouts, in front of coaches and stuff. So that's obviously an extra bonus to that. So Hunter's still going to be at the Combine and be able to do some other things there. Should be healthy, I believe, for the NDSU Pro Day for Lipke, so that'd be great for him. So you have those 3 individuals that are doing the Combine. Then you throw some other players on top of all of that for the NDSU Pro Day. You think of Spencer Wagee, And I believe James Kaiser's giving it a go for Pro Day.
Destin Talbert,
who's now entered the NFL draft. You have him. We knew from just like a week or so ago. Trying to think of other. Oh, Nash Jensen is at the NFL PA Bowl or Collegiate Bowl coming up here right now too. So you got those individuals for the Combine and for Pro Day, a combination in there for everybody on that. And I think that covers it. I'm pretty sure.
The only thing we're leaving out is the Bison 1660 Pro Day. That will be Micah Bendy, Rob Hipp, Andy Rickoff. Kyle Emanuel will join us if you're listening. Also, Cole Jurek. I've already pulled them in. We will not ask Phil Hansen to be there, though.
No. And I don't think we're going to be asking Cole or Kyle to do much of I think they're going to be refereeing for us and making sure we're accurate and making sure Micah isn't cheating by giving an extra second or two shaved off his time because he thinks he's going to be under 5 seconds, which will not be happening.
I would never cheat.
Yes,
I can do it. I can do it the right way.
You absolutely would. By the way, our first hour of the show brought to you by the great folks at Rick Electric. When you need electrical work, you need Rick Electric for your home or for your business. They do great work. Over 56 years of work here in the Fargo, Moorhead, and surrounding regions. Rick Electric has been providing excellent electrical services for homes and businesses in the region. Visit them online at rickelectric.com. Don't do it yourself. Electrical work is difficult, dangerous, and expensive, so get the pros there at Rick Electric. That does it for hour number 1. Hour number 2 is going to go so many random directions. I'm looking forward to it. Slightly scared and nervous too, but it's going to get going with a great guest, and that's what really matters. Jason Petrino, newest defensive coordinator for NDSU for Code Green, will be joining us on the other side here. A Friday edition of The Insiders back next.
Rick Electric wants to say thanks for a great 2022 and looks forward to serving you and all new customers in the new year. Plus, Rick Electric wants to say thanks for voting them the best electrical contractor in the Red River Valley. Since 1964, Rick Electric has been serving homeowners and businesses with troubleshooting, repairs, new construction, and over a dozen projects in my home. Rick Electric. Schedule online or request an estimate at rickelectric.com.
Listen up, North Dakota.
Climb aboard!
It's time to set sail for saving.
Climb aboard!
Today through Sunday.
Climb aboard!
And it's happening at the Fargo Dome.
The boat show is coming, better climb aboard.
Happy Harry's presents this chance to see all the latest in fishing boats, pontoons, runabouts, speedboats, personal watercraft, and the largest selection of docks and lifts. The newest innovations in marine electronics and accessories. Learn how to use the latest electronics to put you on more fish with fishing legend Dave Sanda. Today through Sunday, the 31st annual Red River Valley Boat and Marine Product Show at the Fargo Dome. This is North Dakota's largest and best boat show. It's great fun for the entire family. Show information and save $1 coupon at fargoboatshow.com.
The boat show is coming, better climb aboard. The boat show is coming, better climb aboard.
A Sunoco production.
Starting a New Year's resolution and not following up is silly. Going to North Dakota's only smart e-gym is smart and easy to follow through. When starting a new gym, start one that is so smart that knows exactly how much you lift, how long you lift for, and how many reps you do. Your full body workout is complete in 22 minutes. Our e-gym at Apex in South Fargo takes the guesswork out of working out and makes a daily workout a no-brainer. Try it today for the best workout of your life. For more, visit apexptwellness.com.
Hey, this is Brent Wilson, the general manager of Corwin Toyota, and boy, do I have news for you. After 2 years of inventory issues, the wait is over. A selection of new Toyotas are on the lot, and I have over 100 new units arriving soon. I don't want these units sitting on my lot, so when you purchase any in-stock unit, I'll give you an extra $500. Apply it to your trade, price of your new car, or use it in our aftermarket department. Choice is yours. All incoming inventory is listed now at CorwinToyota.com. Just log on, pick the model and features you want, and call us to reserve it. Head over to CorwinToyota.com today to secure your new Toyota.
Quit hitting snooze for the same old thing every single day.
Oh no.
There's more to life. What about a career in the hottest and most exciting industry in the world? A career at Radio FM Media selling audio, digital, and event marketing is for people that are self-driven, personality plus, multitasker, persistent, have a creative streak, and love the idea of having a career instead of a job. This is a six-figure sales job for highly motivated salespeople. Does this sound like you? Send your resume to Jessica at radiofmmedia.com.
KQWB West Fargo, KPFX HD3 Kindred, and K224FD Fargo. Bison 1660, powered by Gateway Chevrolet, Cadillac, Nissan, and Hyundai in Fargo.
And here's what you need to know.
Former Carolina Panthers interim head coach Steve Wilkes responding to Carolina not picking him to be their head coach of the future and instead going with Frank Reich. Wilkes saying in part in a message, quote, "I am disappointed but not defeated. Many people aren't built for this, but I know what it means to persevere and see it through," close quote. The Los Angeles Rams are reportedly hiring Mike LaFleur to be their offensive coordinator. He formerly was the OC with the New York Jets. ESPN says Maverick superstar Luka Doncic is day-to-day because of a mild sprain to his left ankle. Novak Djokovic is into Sunday's final at the Australian Open after winning earlier today in the semis against the American in 3 sets. Tommy Paul, 7-5, 6-1, 6-2. Djokovic will face off against Stefano Tsitsipas in Sunday's championship after Tsitsipas beat Karen Khachanov in the semis. I'm Brian Fenley.
You've got the insiders.
How you play today, from this moment on, is how you will be remembered.
That's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face.
Bringing you what you need to know and a whole lot more. Topics you care about, guests you know, and the conversations you came to hear. The Insiders are presented by Proceed. Need seed? Think Proceed.
This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
Now, here are the Insiders.
The Insiders. The Insiders.
The Insiders.
Insiders.
Rob Hipp and Andy Rickoff.
Hour number 2 on a Friday. Last hour of the week. 60 minutes till we're homeward bound. On the weekend upon us, a fun weekend. Tonight, NDSU men's basketball, 7 o'clock. Shack, be there. Be there at 6:40, 6:45. Get in your seat early. NDSU multimedia crew do a great job. They got a drone flying through the Shack tonight, so get there early. A chance to be on one of those videos for NDSU athletics and the men's basketball account that's been on fire all week long. Women's has been, too. Got some great stats on Elle Evans last night out of the NDSU women's account, over her women's basketball account, I should say, and over her last 3 games, a couple of games over 20 points, averaging 19 points per game. Her conference stats are phenomenal. She leads the freshmen in all freshmen in scoring in the Summit League in conference play. So I think a prime candidate to be the freshman of the year in the Summit League, one Elle Evans, and this women's basketball team is a lot of fun to watch. So tonight, go into the Shack, men's basketball against UND, win that in-state rivalry game, and then pack up the minivan that Rob Hipp doesn't want to get one day, pack up the SUV, and drive up to Grand Forks tomorrow, 1 o'clock tip-off, in the Bison and the Fighting Hawks on the women's side tomorrow.
One last thing to mention, too. Tune into the radio an hour early because Micah Bendy will have shoot-around. So if you're on your way to the Shack, make sure to tune in. Micah does a great job with shoot-around, and you definitely want to tune into that. You'll hear all the updates, what's going on. He does a great job previewing these games.
Micah does do a very good job with Bison shoot-around. He's done a great job on the pregame show there. We've let him flex his creative muscle on that, and it's been a success, right? I think it's been good. I think we allowed him a little creative freedom there, and it's worked out well. He's done a really good job on that. We're going to let him stretch his creative freedom a little bit more right now, and this could go either really, really good or really, really bad. There's not really any in-between on this. But, Micah, when you heard the newest defensive coordinator for NDSU, Jason Petrino, who's going to be on with us in just a little bit, is actually waiting on the line right now. You heard he was hired. You thought immediately of a popular singer, artist, one Jason Derulo, and that was the first thing that came to your mind, basically.
Yep, my creative juices started flowing very, very fast, and I was just like, I could make something up. So,
you made something up, and this is what Micah has decided to come up with. This is terrible. Okay. Oh.
Gotta restart.
Okay, start it over. Okay.
Jason Petrino.
Oh, that's bad. That's the best you could do?
I thought I nailed it.
It was good. It was. So it's. I don't know if it's good. It's not running on Marconi. That's a stretch. But, he's still on the line with us. He hasn't hung up. That's the plus side. He is still on the line with us, the newest defensive coordinator for NDSU. I can't believe we just made him sit through that and actually listen to that. Jason Petrino joins us. Jason Petrino, or Petrino, how you were trying to say it there. Joining us on the Epic Companies hotline. Coach, I'm sorry we made you sit through that. I apologize for that. Welcome to the show for the first time. Are you a Jason Derulo fan by chance?
I heard the name. I would have a tough time picking a song or two out, but I'm sure I've heard something. I just wouldn't be able to match it up to him, that's for sure.
Coach Rob Pip here, and good to have you. And I got to tell you, you and I can maybe relate because I had no idea who this artist. I know the song, but I have no idea who the artist is. None whatsoever.
Yeah, I've heard of him, but definitely couldn't pick out a song or two of his. But no, I appreciate you guys having me on. Definitely excited.
Well, we're excited to have you on too. We will not be playing Jason Derulo stuff for you every time you come on. I promise you that. That's probably a one-time and done for Micah Bindi back there. Appreciate you hanging on with us though, and appreciate you joining us on the Insiders for the first time here. And obviously, congratulations to you on the job and the new spot here with the Bison. Excited to have you as part of Bison Nation and get you here into Fargo. What have the last really 48 hours been like for you, but also the last week or so, as I'm sure you've been going through this process to become the next defensive coordinator?
Well, first, just very honored, excited. Obviously, be better once my family gets up here. But the last 48 hours, the last week, the thing about our profession and coaches, every day is different. Some more chaotic than others, but they're all great days. And so, as this process kind of unfolded, kind of got a little more serious, got a chance to get on campus and spend a little more time with Coach Entz. And, obviously from afar, being in this league for 8 years, you get a chance to, compete against them and recruit against them and see the success. It's one of those things that to be here, you kind of pinch yourself a little bit, get a little bit closer to Montana where I'm from, and my wife's from as well. And so, just excited, but also honored because of all the great coaches that have come through here before. And then the last 48 hours, honestly, like I said, got into town Wednesday just before noon and kind of dropped off my bags and hit the ground running and working a little bit, checking off the checklist, the HR stuff and making it all official and getting over to workouts and getting around the guys and trying to look at some terminology and pick up information. And all the coaches were on the road, so it kind of just gave me a chance to keep my head down. And then coaches are all in today, so getting a chance to be around them and get to learn more about them and their families and things like that.
Coach, again, great to have you on. Congratulations on this opportunity. I'm excited to get to know you, and I know you're tremendously blessed, and we're all blessed here to have you. You had a lot of success there at SIU, and just going through and looking, and the way your defense has been so great. What are you looking forward to most here at NDSU and bringing to the table?
First thing, just listening and embracing. They've been successful here for a long time. Obviously, Coach Entz, one time as a D coordinator here, even as the head coach, they've had a lot of success. And so just listening and learning, investing and getting to know the players, find out more about them. I think the best coaches are the ones that find ways to, the button to push or to motivate, whatever you want to call it, but connecting is a word I like to use, like connect with each one and find out how I can assist them and obviously want them to become better football players, but also become better men. And that's the thing that I'm excited to dive into and get to know these players and, watch them work out, watch them compete. And then, when I get around the coaches that have been here, excited to spend time with them and learn and grow. And, like I said, just kind of dive in. And it's a great time to do it as recruiting ends up, and you kind of get the month of February to really dive into these players and get to know them, but also dive into the playbook as well.
Again, NDSU's newest defensive coordinator, Jason Petrino, joining us here on our Epic Companies hotline. When NDSU's job opened up, the defensive coordinator job with David Braun going to Northwestern, clearly NDSU's a premier place to be in the FCS and really in all of college football. But when that job came open, what attracted you to it, and what were the connections you had with Coach Entz, and just how did that relationship start getting built?
Well, I feel like with Coach Entz, when he left Winona State, I went in for a year, and kind of just similar circles, similar names, on that staff. You had A.J. Blazik, So you always hear things, obviously, coming in after Coach Henson. I was there for a year, and kind of a crazy story. I was at Omaha for 4 weeks, and they dropped the program. But in that time, Coach Braun came in at Winona. So there was kind of always that similar circle. And then when, Coach Entz was here as the D coordinator, I was in South Dakota, we would, check in with each other and visit a little bit about opponents and maybe come and play, teams that we played prior and, pick each other's brain and stuff like that. So kind of that connection a little bit. And then when the job opened up, it was kind of one of those deals. There was some couple phone calls because really, Coach Entz, as all from afar, but just us getting on the phone and, realizing we share a lot of similar beliefs when it comes to, players and developing and similar philosophically when it comes to defense and things like that. So there's just a lot of positive things in those conversations, and it was kind of happened fast. It's never easy. Coach Hill, I really appreciated the 4 years I got in Carbondale and spending time with him and learned a lot and just tried to make a positive impact during my time there. And, it leads to these opportunities and whatever might happen. Like I said, things happen for a reason, and definitely excited to be here and get this opportunity. And I keep going back to Honored. I mean, there's been a lot of great coaches, and I just, plan to come in and listen and embrace and then, find my ways and niches to make a positive impact.
And again, Jason Petrino here with us. And going back on your resume there, since we're kind of on that topic, I think something that's really interesting about your resume is not only have you been a defensive coordinator, 2 different stops here in the Valley with South Dakota and obviously with Southern Illinois where you're coming from, also have some head coaching experience, NAIA level, Rocky Mountain there, and a chance for you to kind of even get a little bit on the offensive side of the football from what I've been able to understand from your resume here so far, but a chance to be a head coach there for a couple of years, I believe 16 to 18. What was that experience like? How did that mold you to even help you on the defensive side, getting to a grasp of maybe the offensive side a little bit, and how that can help you defensively calling plays here at NDSU?
Yeah, so, it was great to get back to the state of Montana where I'm from. I was actually born in Billings. My dad was a high school coach in Eastern Montana and ended up being born in Billings and kind of getting around to my family and working with my younger brother and some great players. We took a program over that, they hadn't won a championship in 20 years and been in the playoffs in the last 12 or 15 and just dived into it and enjoyed it. And then after the second year, had the offense coordinator left and interviewed some guys and really, I make this as a joke, but, my cousin Bobby and Paul, they played for their dad. I played for their uncle. They were offensive guys, and I couldn't read the option with a lick, so they put me over to defense pretty quick. So that was my sign of that. But getting around a guy named Mike Van Diest my senior year in college and learning a lot from him. So I've been always a defensive guy, and so during that transition, I went out and spent a lot of time with my cousin Paul out at Idaho when he was there and really kind of embraced it and then decided I trusted my brother. I mean, he knew what we were doing and was going to do a great job, a great coach, and been a coordinator, a special teams coordinator. So handed the reins over to him and then kind of got a chance to Jake Bachman out of Webo, Montana, was a quarterback and had a lot of fun, honestly, and had a great group of kids. And we ended up having a lot of success and then kind of turn it around, flip it like I told Jake or to the group of quarterbacks. I said, look, I'm not going to teach you anything about dropping back. I'm not going to teach you anything about footwork. I'm not going to be able to do those things on our first couple days together. I said, but I'm going to teach you everything about defense. And I think really opened their eyes. And really that helped in my transition then from Rocky out to Southern Illinois with Jeremy Chin. I said, look, Jeremy, you've gotten blessed. You got a great work ethic, incredible athlete. You're going to play at the next level. There isn't anything I'm going to teach you in terms of being a better defensive back, but I'm going to teach you everything about offense and what a quarterback sees and how they break down and how they look, break down coverages, routes you're going to expect and stuff like that, and really opened him up into that thought of football and use that as my coaching style. So during that time, I truly became a better D coordinator, understanding that side of the ball and how offense works and operates and, how they look at you and view you and want to attack. And so that's really, like I said, been a major bonus to me, getting that time and that opportunity and getting a chance to become a better D coordinator because of it.
So many times when we talk football, we talk about schemes and just how things are going to work out on both sides of the ball. And I was reading something from several years ago that your belief success is achieved from having the right players who possess the proper fundamentals rather than scheme. Can you expand on that a little bit and just your belief in the players and how they're able to navigate through?
Yeah, so, as a game of football, and there's a lot of awesome things about football, and there's a lot of coaches that are, do some things, design, and all that stuff, whether it's offense or defense, but it still comes down to the three things that I truly believe, and that's blocking, tackling, and takeaways, depending on if you're an offense or defense. But, the base fundamentals is you either got to block somebody or get off a block. You've got to either make a tackle or make somebody miss a tackle. And then the next thing is like takeaways, the situational football. So as a defensive standpoint, are we physically taking the ball away, but also getting third down stops, fourth down stops, making them kick field goals instead of giving up touchdowns in the red zone. So it really kind of breaks it down into those things. And so you got to teach those base fundamentals for individuals to be at their most success. And those players are all going to, each one of us is different. And these are things that I learned from my dad and being around him in terms of the fundamental processes of being successful when it comes to the physical parts, but then also developing players because each one of them is going to bring a different, strength or weaknesses. And there were certain things, whether it was chin, that he was really high, had a lot of strength too, but there were some weaknesses too. So it's finding those players and kind of as you see them move, as you see them adjust, as you see them learn, as you see them be put in opportunities to make plays, it's working to put them into that. Just like anything, like if there's something we like, we're going to want to do it. Okay, well, if a player's like, oh, I like doing this, or I like that coverage, or I like, this technique, it's like, okay, well, let's do that technique. Let's find ways that within the schematics to put you in those situations to be successful. And that's something that I've really tried to do everywhere I've been, because every situation, whether it was, at Rocky Mountain College, South Dakota, or even at Southern Illinois, it's like, okay, these are the bodies we have. How can we put them in positions where they can be successful, and then working to design in that regard.
And Jason Petrino here with us on the Epic Companies hotline. And like you said already, Coach, you have a lot of similar stops on your resume as Coach Entz, and some similar influences and some similar defensive beliefs, of course. But I think a lot of people, and we actually have a few text questions on our text line kind of about this, is when the position came open, I said I would not be shocked at all if they kind of went out of house. There wasn't an in-house candidate they went with for this position, and obviously you weren't on staff this last year, so coming from out of the program a little bit, a lot of similar beliefs and styles I would think as Matt Entz, but is there anything specific you think you're bringing over, a different philosophy or idea, or things you see on tape that you'd like to maybe bring over here to NDSU on the defensive side?
I think that's some of the listening and learning. They've been successful here for a long time. But, I think you look even at the last handful of coordinators that have come in here, and I can't speak on all of them. But obviously, Coach Kleinman came in from UNI. Same thing with Coach Entz. Came in from Western Illinois. Coach Braun came in, I believe, from UNI. I think having a background in the Valley, just because how, it's the best football at this level, and a lot of great coaches. So I think some of that, but also things that I could sit there and I've seen North Dakota State do and had success with, but I also feel there's things that I can bring and at least start discussion. And I'm excited about that. That's kind of the fun part, obviously, when we're able to get the defensive staff in a room and kind of identify, okay, we're through the base teachings and things like that, but okay, hey, you guys are doing this, this is something that I struggled with. What was your answers to it? Okay. And then it was like, hey, Coach, we've seen you do this. What was your thoughts on that? And having those discussions, and that's when it really gets fun. And like I said, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but ultimately, it comes back to those three things I said earlier. But I'm really excited about that, because I think, each year, whether it's Southern Illinois or Rocky or even, South Dakota, but there's times whether it was, leading the conference in takeaways, sacks, third down, there's something there where we were able to have some success and get a chance, opportunity to have some of the pieces that are here at North Dakota State to put those guys in some of those positions or similar positions to make some plays. That's exciting to think about.
NDSU traditionally recruits from, right here in North Dakota and surrounding areas. And is there anything on that end as far as recruiting that we can look forward to? Maybe something different on that side from you, Coach?
Similar. I kind of recruited the Chicago area and then had some spots maybe more into the South. But like I said, I don't know if opening up any pass or whatever. I mean, I think they've had a lot of success there, and the talent in terms of where they go. And like you said, up here between North Dakota, across into Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, South Dakota, into Nebraska and Kansas, and then Chicago. I mean, those are the areas that have always been probably the best for them. And then you got your outreach in Texas and Atlanta and Florida, and those are areas for us. Most recently, we were down in Atlanta and had some coaches, and so definitely they're in the right spots, and definitely excited with the type of athlete that's available in this area to come in and continue the successes here.
We were really hoping you could get us into like Western Europe. We're hoping you're open up that market for us in the recruiting trail, actually. But that's okay. We'll keep you.
I would volunteer Hawaii, and I would volunteer maybe down America Samoa.
Dominican Republic, all that stuff. Yep.
No.
I like when you said Texas, because I like when you said Texas, Coach. I came from Texas, so when you said that, it perked me just a little bit. But I love our kids here.
Okay. There's players everywhere. There really is, but you don't want to stretch yourself too thin. I mean, it's you got to make sure it's the fit. That's the thing too. It's a lot of things go into it. I've seen players come in with a lot of success that maybe weren't the guy you were most fired up about. The guy that you were most fired up about comes in and isn't able to make it. So it's not an exact science, that's for sure. But it's part of the process that goes into it, recruiting and getting to know players and investing in them in that process and making sure they're the right fit. And the nice thing that's unique up here is the ability, you have your 3-day camps. Everybody's excited that first day, but who's the one that's still giving the same energy and effort on that third day? And so that's an incredible tool to have in terms of the recruiting process.
One question I had for you is that you're coming into a situation, it's not like the cupboard's completely full. I don't think it's completely empty either. NDSU's probably, obviously got plenty of talent, plenty of good players. But when you look on the roster, when fans look at the roster, they see the entire secondary from last year is either graduated or gone on to other things, NFL draft or transferred out. You see a player like Spencer Wagey on the defensive line's gone, James Kaiser, linebacker. There's a lot of starting positions that are going to be open for this next year. What about that aspect of this defense excites you and getting to maybe coach and train up some of the younger players and first-time starters and all of that?
Well, I could go back to opportunity. There's opportunity there. If you can't be excited about that, if you're in that room, to work to get better every day, and that's what I go back to. There's opportunity. I mean, the transfer portal, it's part of college athletics right now. I've seen it on both ends, whether it's players leaving or recruiting players off the portal. So it's one of those things. It's opportunity for guys to step up, guys that are here. Obviously, that's been the nice thing. I was in yesterday and then even this morning a little bit watching workouts, and there's a lot of talent here. There's no doubt about that. And there's the guys that are in those rooms. Whether there's a large group in there or a small group, it's like whoever it is, the opportunity's there, and yet we all know what the expectations are, and we got to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to be at our best, and that starts. Honestly, it starts now. We talk about it all the time as coaches, but we all love the Saturday afternoons. But there's a lot of early, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday mornings where you got to get up and embrace the things that are happening and prepare yourself to get those moments. But I think opportunity comes into it right away, and exciting to get a chance, these next 2 months, to, prepare and then get out on the field in the spring and develop.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of opportunity for a lot of different guys on the Code Green side of things defensively for NDSU. One more question for you, and we'll let you go. I know when people heard Jason Petrino is going to be the defensive coordinator, one thing that perks their ears up is the last name, and it's just something you've lived your whole life with. Your family's been really successful in football, definitely a football family. I was wondering, what are the family reunions like when you and Bobby and brothers, dads, uncles, everything, when everyone gets together? What are those moments like?
Highly competitive, whatever it is, whether it's the golf course or around each other, and very, very competitive. But like I said, I think I go back that time. My uncle was the original Coach Petrino, and there's been a lot of Coach Petrinos after it. But really, it's about teaching and learning. And caring. I mean, those are the things you got to be able to do, and it's changed a lot. I think the way that my uncle did it back at Carroll College. He had his way, and Bobby and Paul have their way. My older brother's one of the basketball coach out of Boise State. Younger brother's coached. My dad and uncle, they're identical twins. They both coached, but each person had their way, and it's really kind of changed, and that's okay. But at the same time, it still comes down to teaching, learning, and connecting, and that's something that's always been really, really important. But when we get together, like I said, there's I still got a bar now. I kid you not. I think I was at the University of Mary, and we were out. We had a family reunion outside of Butte, Montana, which is where my mom and dad are both from, and their families are from. So we were at a family reunion, and I still have a little nap. We went golfing over in Anaconda, and Bobby's writing down blitzes and pressures. Like, these are the things that give us. Still have those. So I pull them out every now and then. But yeah, no, absolutely. And then obviously Bobby being in the league, competed like heck against them, and he did a tremendous job kind of putting some life into that program, and seeing him get opportunities, not a surprise, just because of how offensive, successfully he's been offensively. And so yeah, but like I said, there's a lot of competing going on, but also a lot of sharing and storytelling, and that stuff's always been fun.
A lot of people say their family reunions are competitive. I believe it when I hear it from you. I would definitely believe that with the lineage there. Not, like you said, not just in football, but other sports there as well on the coaching side, and even playing too back in the day. So appreciate that from you.
On the golf course, if you make a poor shot on the golf course, you're going to hear about it, just so you know. So there's a lot of practice.
Well, then I can't go golfing with you, Coach. I'm just going to stay away from that one. We appreciate your time. Really happy to have you here. You and your family, you're going to love it around this area. Looking forward for getting them up here, too. I know this time is going to be hectic for you. Moving sucks. I can't even do it across city, much less state lines like you guys are going to be doing here over the next couple of weeks. But excited to have you aboard and a part of Bison Nation, and looking forward to getting to know you and the family a little bit more, and looking forward to seeing what Code Green looks like over the next couple of years under your leadership, too. Congratulations once again on the job. Thanks for joining us, and I promise you we will not have any more Jason Derulo when we have you on, but we probably will keep a hold of the sound effect that Micah made just to appease him.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys, and go Bison.
Thanks, Coach.
There you go. Jason Petrino, newest defensive coordinator for NDSU, joining us and giving us some insight there. Good conversation. Really fun guy. Went over fairly well, Micah, for you. He didn't hang up.
He did not hang up.
He didn't hang up. Didn't really know what was going on. I think he was probably thrown for a loop. But overall, somewhat success for you. Somewhat success.
Somewhat.
Yeah. I think whenever there's a big play, like a sack, pick six, fumble recovery or something like that for the defense, fourth down stop, that's when it's like Jason Petrino. You can play the soundbite.
We'll play that.
Mm-hmm. Like in music recaps and stuff. There you go.
But you can tell, just role. Talking to him, great guy, honored to have him here with this program. And whenever he talked about just those fundamentals, blocking, tackling, and takeaways, that's what the Bison are all about. And when we've interviewed players, one of the most common things that I talk to the guys about when they respond to me is they say, if you don't block, you don't play for NDSU.
Yep.
And so, that's right up there with the philosophy. What a great get here for NDSU and Bison Nation in this program.
And defensively, it's if you don't get off blocks, you're not going to be playing for ND. Get off the block and go make a tackle. And I think we all said during the year tackling was one thing that felt like it needed to be shored up a little bit. Bring that here. I'm looking forward to seeing how things change for this defense a little bit. And when I say that, I'm not saying this is going to be wholehearted change or you're going to see a whole bunch of different things or different schemes or something. We had a couple people. Brian was one. Jason, I see one from Dan as well, asking, are there going to be scheme differences? Are you going to bring anything over? We're not doing a whole household change over what the defense is going to look like. It's going to look similar. But as I asked him, you're going to bring certain things. He's going to bring different philosophies, maybe a different pressure package or something like that, maybe a different blitz that he's picked up that he really likes, and going to try and obviously fit it to the players that you have. But I'm sure he's going to bring over a couple different philosophies and different things out there. And it helps that he knows the teams in the conference really well, so he knows, okay, maybe this worked really well against SDSU the last couple of times when we've played them. Or I kind of know how the offensive coordinator for SDSU thinks or how he runs things a little bit. You have a little insight into those teams. It's not going to be his first time going up against SDSU or UND or Missouri State, who I expect to be a little bit better than they were this past year coming up next year. Youngstown State's on the up and up, I think, for them too. So he's going to have some insight into that and some experience going against those teams, which I think is very important. And again, like I said yesterday, I think it's very important that he has previous defensive coordinator play calling experience, where you have a lot of players who are maybe not household starters for NDSU that might become starters next year, or players playing in different positions than they have in the past or bigger roles. You have a play caller that's done that before, and he's been in that seat, in that position before. He kind of knows how to run that show. I think that's also important.
I really like the point that he brought up about listening and learning from the players, because when you usually think, oh, the coaches are always talking and teaching the players, well, it works both ways, and especially when you have a new defensive coordinator, you're learning from the guys that have been in that defensive room the longest, and I think that's a key point that NDSU has always done a good job of that. It's about what can we do to match the players' skill set and make them look really good, and then incorporate that in his scheme as well.
Well, it's a key of leadership, and my dad always taught me, and Coach was right on the money with this, is, you use your ears more than your mouth, and when you do that, you learn a lot, and that's how you grow and develop. So I'm really looking forward to his leadership and how he's going to make an impact on these young people, and how our players are going to talk to him as well.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. Plenty more to get to here. Hour number 2 of The Insiders, our conversation, or Rob's conversation with Josh Streit, still yet to come.
Bison Nation, your exclusive home for North Dakota State athletics. Bison 1660.
Corwin Public Wholesale is conducting a special used vehicle buyback. Any used car, truck, or SUV, we will buy it. Trying to trade your vehicle and not getting what it's worth? We will buy it. Need some extra cash? We will buy it. Whether it's worth $500,000 or $50,000, we will buy it. We want to buy your vehicle. Corwin Public Wholesale, right on the price, right on the I-29 frontage road, Fargo.
The new year brings new goals. This is Scott Zlondik with Cornerstone Bank. This is a great time to review your ag operation financing for the year. Cornerstone Bank offers an experienced team that you can turn to as you navigate through 2023. We're a locally owned and managed community bank. We've been specializing in ag banking for generations. We find the best financial options for business, ag operations, and your personal needs. Come see us at Cornerstone Bank, and go Bison.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Invest in your community with Epic Companies. Hey, this is Mac. Have you been looking to diversify your portfolio and dive into real estate? We offer multiple types of investing through our mixed-use buildings and entertainment plazas. If you are an accredited investor and interested in hearing more about the investment process and how you can be part of enhancing the quality of life in the area, visit epiccompaniesnd.com to review our investment options. That's epiccompaniesnd.com.
With the rising threat of cybersecurity attacks, you need to ensure your business is fully protected. Data loss, ransomware attacks, and other breaches can disrupt your business and damage your reputation. Consolidated Communications Cloud Secure Service safeguards your business from these attacks by securing your network, data, and applications. We proactively monitor your security to prevent intrusions before they compromise your IT systems while protecting your staff in the office or when working remotely. Visit consolidatedcommunications.com/cloudsecure to protect your business.
Hey, business owners, you have your banker, you have your insurance guy, but do you have your door guy? Now you do. DavTech Window Services also specializes in commercial door and window repair and replacement. DavTech is proud to be known for their excellent commercial services as on the NDSU campus. Choose the door and window experts that will deliver top-rated products as well as the experienced technicians that do it right the first time. A decade of service with a century of experience. Online at DavTechWindowServices.com. That's DavTechWindowServices.com.
February is almost here, and February is all about hearts and love, and remembering that someone special on Valentine's Day with something unexpected. At Wimmer's Diamonds, we can help you find something little or something big. Most certainly, something wonderful to express your love. Stop in today and let us help you find the perfect unexpected gift. Wimmer's, at the corner of 32nd Avenue and 45th Street in South Fargo.
Stop by Gateway Chevrolet and check out their great selection of in-stock Chevy cars and trucks ready for immediate delivery. Take advantage of invoice pricing on new 2023 Chevrolet Equinox and invoice pricing on new 2023 Chevrolet Silverados only at Gateway Chevrolet. Plus, find out about 2.9% financing on select Chevrolet models. That's right, 2.9% on select Chevrolets and invoice pricing on 2023 Equinox and Silverados at Gateway Chevrolet. Find new roads. Details gatewayfargo.com.
So most companies claim they have good people, good product, good customer service, but the question is how often. We go the extra mile to take care of our dealers and our growers, and more importantly, their families and their customers.
ProSeed tries to bring a family-like experience. Farmers, we want to understand what their challenges are. We also want to bring products to them that help them overcome those challenges so that they can be as successful as possible.
Need seed? Think ProSeed. ProSeed.net, great seed at a reasonable price.
This is Bison quarterback Cole Payton.
Peyton, snap, wants to run, found a gap, touchdown! Oh, mama, what a play!
And you're listening to The Insiders on Bison 1660.
Here with you inside our Tharaldson Ethanol Broadcast Center. Tharaldson Ethanol, producing 175 million gallons of ethanol per year and roughly 400 tons of livestock feed per year as well. You can fuel your future and join their growing team. Plant is just west of Castleton. You can join their growing team online at tharaldsonethanol.com. Andy Rickoff, Rob Hipp, Micah Bindi in here with you. We'll be having Rob's conversation with Joshua Streit here, Bison forward, in just a few moments. NDSU men's basketball tonight. It is a gold rush. Make sure you get there and wear gold. Get in your seat before 7 as well, like 6:45 or so, to be on that NDSU video cruise. The multimedia cruise video before the game. They're going to have a drone flying through, taking some video of the crowd too, so get there early, get your butts in the seats, and get ready to cheer on NDSU against UND. Interesting nugget for you on the women's side. NDSU women's basketball takes on North Dakota up in Grand Forks Saturday at 1 o'clock, so get there for that game, pack up, go up I-29 and support the Bison up there in Grand Forks as well, make it a home environment on the road. And if the Bison win, they've already won 8 in a row. Jory Collins undefeated against UND. Already won 8 in a row. If they win this one, it will be the longest win streak by either school, not in the D1 era, but in the history of the rivalry, NDSU and UND on the women's side. If the Bison can get a win, they'll make it 9 in a row, the largest streak by either squad in the series history. So kind of a cool little side nugget, a little bit of extra motivation to it for the Bison. Plus, UND is undefeated at home and a chance to snap that undefeated home winning streak this season for UND on the road. And you got to keep yourself in front of it. USD just a game behind the Bison for second place right now. Want to have one of those top 2 seeds come tournament time. So a lot on the line this last month here for the Bison, and a lot on the line in this game tomorrow for the Bison women against UND. Let's go with Rob. Earlier this week, you got a chance to sit down with Joshua Streit.
Yeah, it was good catching up with him and just talking about this upcoming game tonight and, his thoughts of where he's at as a sophomore. I've got that interview for you.
Rob Hibb sitting down with sophomore forward Joshua Streit. Josh, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. Feeling good.
I never did ask you this because I always say Joshua. Do you ever go by Josh or is it just Joshua?
Most people call me Josh. I really don't care. One of my grams calls me Joshua. She's the only one who consistently calls me Joshua.
What's your second year with the program this year? Getting off a little bit tough start there in non-conference play, strung together 5 straight, and then I know the last 2 were a little bit tough there versus Oral Roberts in Kansas City, but now a little chance again to come back out hot against UND, this time back at the Shill Center. What's this journey in this season been like for you so far?
It's been crazy. It's been a lot of up and downs, young guys just trying to find our way as a team. Started playing a little better and just took a step back last week. Hoping to gain another step forward this week and just keep building for March.
One thing that I've really enjoyed watching is just your play improving over these last 5, 6, 7 games, especially on the offensive side. Talk a little bit about the offensive glass that you've been able to haul down and give your team second chance opportunities.
Yeah, it's been kind of my thing all year, just trying to get my team second chance opportunities. I think it's been a little better clicking as of late. Just going to that glass relentlessly and just trying to get extra boards and do everything for the team to win.
There's a lot of young guys on this team. I mean, you're a sophomore, but no seniors this year, of course. Who have you really latched on to? Who's kind of been that leader for you?
Obviously, me and Morgs are really close. Me and him, we provide for each other. We set fire under each other. Make sure we get each other better every day. Me and Grant are obviously really close. I'm just close with all the guys. We'll all hang out, and it doesn't matter. It depends on the day who you're talking to with, and it just really depends on the day, and we're all tight, and we're all together as a team.
we'll kind of flip the script then. Has there been any of the younger guys that have kind of latched onto you a little bit and learned from you?
I think me and Noah have slowly grown. The summer we weren't that close, but now that it's more into the season, I feel like me and him are growing closer together, just since we're kind of the same position group, just trying to help him out when we're on scout and just trying to help him out with the little things, see what I see and just let him know, and just everything I can do to help him out.
Again, talking to Joshua Streit here, we know about the young guys. What else this season maybe stands out that you didn't have last year? What really kind of pops out first in your head?
I was just probably how we work a lot harder in practice this year. Every day we come out with relentless grit and just do everything we can. We might not be the most experienced team or most talented team, but we're willing to work hard and always just try to outwork the other team.
Wanted to give you an opportunity, too, to talk a little bit about the team chemistry. Coach and I have mentioned this several times on the coaches' shows. We've talked about it in pregame interviews. It seemed like early on that the chemistry off the court's always been there. It was just the story of trying to make that chemistry work on the court. You had the 5-game win streak. Seemed like things were working. Just a little bit about that. What has that been like for you, and how do you feel that that's improved and grown as this season continued on?
Off the court, since day one, we've all been tight. We're all kind of that same age group. We're all younger. I think that really helps us connect with each other. Off the court, we all love each other, and it's all amazing. I'd say on the court, at the start of the year, we were in and out of lineups. Damari was hurt all summer, and Javis ended up getting hurt this fall. So, they were in and out of the lineups all the time, so we didn't really know what we got from them and couldn't get really that much chemistry throughout the first part of the season. Like I said, lineups kept changing, and then finally once we got our lineup set and everyone was healthy, I think our chemistry started to click.
Now those last two, as I mentioned, were tough there versus Oral Roberts in Kansas City. What were some of the setbacks in that game that you saw from yourself as a player perspective?
Probably just limited with things we can do sometimes, but I think Max A. Smith's one of the best players in the league. He's tough to guard. I think we have to become more locked in throughout the games, just not expect things to happen. We have to make them happen, and I think that just comes with experience.
Now a chance here facing UND here back at the Shill Center, a chance to get back on that win track. What do you have to do in this game to be successful?
We have to get back to what we were doing in those 5-game win streaks. Pressure the ball, get up, have a lot of energy, stay locked in, and just do all the little things right to go get that win.
Whenever you put on your jersey, what do you think of? What does it mean to you to be a Bison and play for Coach Richmond in this storied program?
I'm grateful. Every pregame, right before starting lineups, I always look around the stands, just take it in and how grateful I am. Just be like, wow, I made it. This was one of my big dreams in life, but I always try to take it in slowly. Sometimes it flies by a little quicker than you'd like it to, but I just think, like I said, right before starting lineups, I always look around, just see wow, this is I'm here and I can play here.
You came from Watkins, Minnesota, is that correct?
Yeah.
Big town of 700 people, right?
Yeah.
What does your hometown mean to you?
It means a lot. I love my hometown. I'll go back there any chance I get. I have a lot of friends there. A lot of my guys live there. It means a lot to me. The high school provided a lot for me. I have nothing to complain about.
A couple of last questions here. Still a lot of time, a lot of basketball to go this season. Still a lot of college to go, too. What's in the pipeline for you? Where do you want to be, and where do you see yourself once you graduate?
Throughout my college career, I just want to do what's ever best for the team. And then after college, I'm a ag business major, and I want to probably go live in the suburbs of Minnesota, where I'm from, and help a lot at home on the farm and just work in the agriculture industry and do the best I can to help farmers out.
And finally, off the court, what do you enjoy doing? It's not all basketball all the time, right?
Yeah, I like chilling. Me and Andrew chill a lot. Don't play much video games. I just like chilling, watching YouTube. Obviously working on the farm when I get a chance, and I like relaxing a lot.
Talking about your teammates, if you had one word to describe Lance Waddles, how would you describe him? We're only saying that because he's looking over here.
Crazy.
All right, there it is. Hey, Josh, appreciate you. Good luck coming up, and always appreciate how humble you guys are. Continue that journey, young man.
Thank you.
There you go, Joshua Streit. Conversation with him, with one Rob Pippen. He's a player that's, again, played a bigger role than maybe even I personally expected him to, and done it very well.
Yeah, it's just a great, humble guy, and I like his answer whenever I ask him, there's a lot of basketball left. Where do you see yourself? He goes, well, just helping this team however I can, and that's a perfect answer. I mean, that's what he's there for. He wants to help out. And again, just a humble young man. You can tell in his voice, too, that he's just so genuine. And that's what I love most about Josh. He's a great young man and a very bright future on the way for him.
This hour of The Insider is brought to you by Wimmer's Diamonds, and a family-owned jeweler serving and believing in this community for over 100 years. Stop in and see them at their new showroom, 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo. Take a break, come back. Couple more segments left for us here on The Insiders on a Friday.
North Dakota State football plays here. Bison 1660.
Snow, ice, and below zero temps. Typical Midwest weather, but not so kind to your vehicle. That's why Jiffy Lube of Fargo is here to make sure you have your vehicle in top working condition and ready for these winter roads and temps. Oil changes are the #1 maintenance item that's neglected. At Jiffy Lube of Fargo, no appointment needed at any of the 3 locally owned locations. Jiffy Lube of Fargo, where you can do more in a Jiffy. Jiffy Lube of Fargo, proudly serving the metro area for 5 decades.
Sight on Sound knows car audio and its evolution over time. For the longest time, it was basically like listening to a conch shell. Then things got better with stereophonic sound. Then HD was next. Until now, high-res audio. Your sound system has never sounded this crisp, this clear. And you'll find all the cutting-edge sounds at Sight on Sound. With products fully in stock, a trip to Sight on Sound has never sounded better. Sight on Sound, Main Avenue, Fargo.
Bring it on home from Sight on Sound.
Here's your Red River Valley weather update on Bison 1660.
It's been a gusty and cold Friday with temperatures dropping to the single digits as the day continues on. Overnight, skies turn mostly cloudy with a low around 12 below. And on Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 4 below. This weather update brought to you by Minn Kota Windows. Just when your kids thought it was time to head outside, a cold snap rolls in. Ditch the coat and snuggle up with peace of mind knowing that Minn Kota's energy-efficient vinyl will block out the brutal cold and save you money. Midwest built, Midwest tough, guaranteed for life.
Rick Electric wants to say thanks for a great 2022 and looks forward to serving you and all new customers in the new year. Plus, Rick Electric wants to say thanks for voting them the best electrical contractor in the Red River Valley. Since 1964, Rick Electric has been serving homeowners and businesses with troubleshooting, repairs, new construction, and over a dozen projects in my home. Rick Electric. Schedule online or request an estimate at rickelectric.com.
Don't let your profits get stuck in your truck this spring. Dirt, rock, let it slide with Super Slide. Super Slide is a plastic, non-stick, self-lubricating, and seamless liner that eliminates haulback in your dump box or dump trailer. Super Slide is available in various grades, widths, and thicknesses, and Horn Plastics can have you in and out in no time. Get your new liner now to ensure you maximize productivity and profitability in 2023. Super Slide from Horn Plastics, created and preferred for every job. Visit hornplastics.com to schedule your installation.
Are you an electrician? Are you looking for a change? JDP Electric is looking for commercial, industrial, and service electricians. JDP is looking for both journeyman and apprentice electricians. You could start your career today with a family-owned and operated business who's been serving our community for over 20 years. Full-time positions available with great pay and benefits. Call 701-232-1991 or email info@jdpelectric.net. Start your new tomorrow today. Come be a part of the JDP difference.
About a month ago, we had some unexpected plumbing issues. We called Valley Service Mechanical in a panic and were pleasantly surprised with the professional that came to our rescue. He took the time to explain the issues to us, and you could really tell he enjoyed what he was doing and the pride he had representing Valley Service Mechanical.
When your heating and cooling needs help and your plumbing is on the fritz, call Valley Service Mechanical, 701-293-5701. Online at valleyservice.net.
In 1953, Bill Samuels created a simple bourbon, while Margie Samuels worked on her creative vision. A bottle hand-dipped in red wax, wrapped in a hand-cut label, filled with handcrafted bourbon that elevated flavor and remains unchanged as of today. Aromas of woody oak, caramel, and vanilla, with a taste that is sweet and balanced with caramel, vanilla, and fruity essences. Every barrel of Maker's Mark is aged to taste, not time. Maker's Mark, the star of your home bar. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome back in. Insiders here with you. Andy Reckoff, Rob Hitt, Micah Bindi. This hour of The Insiders brought to you by Wimmer's Diamonds. For 103 years, they've watched you fall in love and stay in love, providing beautiful reminders to celebrate all your special moments. Wimmer's Diamonds, 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo. AFC and NFC Championship games going on this weekend. How about we get us all down on the record on this for what teams are going to be playing in Super Bowl 57. Got to get this thing done. No ice buckets on the line, Rob, so don't worry about that. But we will get everyone on the record for what we believe the winners and what the scores will be. A little football bed music if we've got it. Well, that kind of works.
Do you not like my choice of music, Andy?
I like the Jason Petrino thing better.
I like Jason Petrino a lot.
I bet you did.
The man and that intro I made for him.
Okay, let's go through this. AFC Championship game first. Michael will give you first dibs on this one.
I am taking the Bengals. I'm taking Cordell Volson. He's a mauler, and the Bengals are going to out-toughen.
Score prediction as well.
Score prediction, I'm going to say 34-28 Bengals.
34-28 Bengals. Rob Hipp, what do you got?
Heart wants Cincinnati, but I'm going with the gut. I've got to go with the gut. It will be Kansas City over Cincinnati, 31-28 in a close one. Mahomes will lead them down the field, a game-winning drive to head to the Super Bowl.
You got Kansas City what?
31-28.
31-28. I think a lot of people are all on Joe Burrow, and he's great, and I think it's going to be a very close game, but it's hard to beat a team 4 times in a row, and I think the Chiefs have a little extra motivation behind them on this one. And it looks like Mahomes is pretty much fully go. I don't think he's going to be limited a whole lot. I'm going to go with Kansas City, too. I'm going to go with Kansas City. High-scoring affair, 34-31. Kansas City with the victory. NFC Championship game. Eagles hosting the 49ers. Micah Bindi.
I'm taking the 49ers. I believe the head coach, Kyle Shanahan, will be the difference in this one. He will out-scheme the Eagles. Kyle Shanahan has more experience in the playoffs. He's already made it to a Super Bowl. He will out-coach Nick Sirianni, and Brock Purdy will out-duel Jalen Hurts. It will be 28-17.
Hurts will not make things look pretty for Brock there. It will be the Eagles. My heart wants to say San Fran. My gut tells me the Eagles. 21-17. Jalen Hurts will be the hero in this ballgame. It's going to be the quarterback.
It comes down to the offensive and defensive lines. I think the offensive line for the Eagles has to win, and they have to give Jalen Hurts time, and I think they will. It's a very good defensive line, though, for the 49ers. That's where I think it's won, is the Niners' defensive line versus the Eagles' offensive line, whatever unit wins there. I'm going to go with the Eagles at home to get under Brock Purdy's skin a little bit. And I think just that he struggled against a pretty good defense last week in the Cowboys. I think he struggles even more against a really, really good defense in the Eagles that will get after him a little bit in a hostile environment. I'm going to go with the Eagles to win this game. A very low-scoring affair. I'm going to go 20-15. 20-15 Eagles.
15?
Yeah.
Safety somewhere?
20-15. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
I did hear.
Sorry, 20 to. I'll go 20-16. I'm thinking
that's a little more normal.
I'm thinking touchdown, field goal. 20-16.
Could have been a blocked pad somewhere along.
20-16. Missed extra point. There you go for 2.
Robbie Gould, don't miss.
Well, maybe you go for 2 and you don't get it. Okay. There could have been a possibility for 15, but I'm going to go 20-16. And to give me a chance to back out of it.
Gotcha. I'm just helping you out. I want to be helpful.
I think low scoring game, 20-16.
So I said 21-17.
Yep, 20-16 Eagles. So me and Rob got the same thing. Chiefs and Eagles. You've got Bengals 49ers over there. Very different. Nobody going with a Bengals Eagles and nobody going with a Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl. So we're the same here, Rob.
I'm already going to say
I wrote them down before the show, so I wasn't going to switch.
I'm already going to go ahead and just take one step further, even though we'll talk about it, in the weeks to come. Kansas City over the Eagles in the Super Bowl, 35-28.
I'm going to save my prediction for later.
I've already got it.
I already have the Bengals winning the Super Bowl.
You've said that multiple times, which means the Bengals are definitely not going to win the Super Bowl. You cursed Cordell Volson. It is your fault. I blame you.
Nope, because my luck is turning around in the playoffs. I chose it before the playoffs even started. Bengals-Niners Super Bowl, Bengals win. My parlays are turning around.
No, they're not. Let's take a break. Final break here for us to come back, wrap up the show for you next.
Quit hitting snooze for the same old thing every single day.
Oh, no.
There's more to life. What about a career in the hottest and most exciting industry in the world? A career at Radio FM Media selling audio, digital, and event marketing is for people that are self-driven, personality plus, multitasker, persistent, have a creative streak, and love the idea of having a career instead of a job. This is a 6-figure sales job for highly motivated salespeople. Does this sound like you? Send your resume to Jessica at radiofmmedia.com.
Hey, Bison Nation, Andy Reckoff here, and I just wanted to take a moment to say we absolutely love our Theraldson Ethanol Broadcast Center. Love being there every day to bring you the very latest with NDSU athletics, but we're not the only ones that like to be in the studio.
Michael Tutsi with us here live in studio.
Scott Anderson joining us, Director of Multimedia, NDSU.
The athletic director's inside the studio. Matt Larson's joining us. I told you we weren't the only ones. Fuel your future and join the growing team at Theraldson Ethanol today by going online to theraldsonethanol.com.
When you're in love and ready for that next big step, celebrate with the perfect ring that says, I choose you. At Wimmer's Diamonds, our jewelry experts will help you find the engagement ring that says, I want to spend my life with you. The ring that declares commitment. The ring that has her or him saying yes. At Wimmer's Diamonds, we believe in love, now and forever. Located at 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
I can't help but rave about the wonderful countertops that Northern Stone has put in my home. Now, something new to rave about. Tile. Northern Stone has a few openings for tile installation right now. You will be so impressed with Northern Stone's tile installer and his attention to detail. The backsplash is the final jewel to finish your project. So, if you already have tile or you need to find tile, Northern Stone can help. They have beautiful tile in stock, and right now, their talented tile guy has a few openings. Go to northernstone.com.
Nutrisource is now introducing Superstars. It's a soft and tasty training reward for your pup in 4 delicious flavors: real chicken, cheddar cheese, beef, and real bacon. Each treat is less than 3 calories, and 100% of the profits from these treats go to the Nutrisource Superstars program, a program dedicated to helping family, children, and pets facing hardships. For more information on Nutrisource Superstars and all the organizations they support, go to NutrisourcePetFoods.com/giving-back.
Start building your career at Doosan Bobcat in Gwinner today. Bobcat has current openings for assemblers and welders. Bobcat Gwinner offers competitive pay, great benefits, opportunities for long-term growth, and a $5,000 relocation bonus for qualified candidates. Walk-in interviews will take place Wednesday, February 1st from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. at the Springs Golf Course located at 565 Bogey Road in Gwinner. For more information, visit bobcat.com/now hiring. That's bobcat.com/now hiring.
Comfort King, wake up! I don't want to, Night-Night. You must! The Knights of the Round Mattress have assembled to address the foreign mattress invaders.
Yes, box beds and foam mattresses have infected the kingdom, causing poor sleep for too many of our citizens.
They've been tricked into buying beds without even laying on them. It's madness!
If only they knew that Honorable Comfort King makes the world's best mattress and comes with a soft spot warranty and a lifetime comfort guarantee.
Comfort King Mattress Factory for queens and kings.
And peasants too.
The 6-pack in a pound is now $2 off at Taco John's. But what's the right occasion to enjoy 6 crunchy tacos loaded with seasoned beef plus a pound of potato olays? How about date night, movie night, 1,000-piece puzzle night, picnics in the park, picnics in your kitchen, camping, tailgates, anniversaries, bribing friends, bribing pets, bribing yourself, birthdays, holidays, and any day that ends in Y, to name a few. The 6-pack in a pound, now $2 off, only from Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better. Download the app, earn free food.
What y'all gonna do? Welcome back to the Insiders.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
You know Bruno Mars then?
Yeah, come on, man. Bruno, I thought Bruno was on the track to be like the next MJ, but it just didn't happen. He was at one point to be the next Michael Jackson. I thought he was that guy. He was going to be it, but then he just kind of faded off.
He didn't have the dance moves like MJ.
He's got some good ones, though. I've seen Bruno Mars in person, in a concert.
Was he good?
Very good. Phenomenal. Amazing. It was a great concert. Loved it. Down there in St. Paul. But welcome back in. Final segment for you of the week. Rounding things out. Back on next week. How about Monday? Dexter Warner will join us. Go over, hopefully, an NDSU win tonight against UND. Also, next Wednesday is the second signing day or signing period for NDSU. Next week is that second signing day. How about head coach Matt Entz on Wednesday will be joining us to go over a few more signees, maybe possibly in that class coming up, and a few other things, housekeeping items, of course, with NDSU football. Get his thoughts on Jason Petrino and how that whole search went, and maybe ask him a question about the wide receiver coach search, if that's still going on at that point. Maybe we have some news on that stuff too, but have the head coach on Wednesday next week. Looking forward to it. Our show today brought to you in part by the great team at Twin Peaks. You can score free stuff and step it in all things Twin Peaks by joining their e-club. Go online to twinpeaksrestaurants.com. TwinPeaksGlass.com. Each drinks scenic views at Twin Peaks. And how about this? Big game tonight. It's the Bison. It's the Fighting Hawks. It's NDSU. It's UND. 7 o'clock, the tip-off. 6 o'clock, our coverage starts here on Bison 1660, 107.9 The Fox. Caller number 5, right here, right now. You win our last pair of tickets to the game tonight between the Bison and the Fighting Hawks. 701-476-1660. Caller number 5 right now wins that pair of tickets. Horns up, go Bison. Talk with you again on Monday, Bison Nation.
Experience is what builds the future of glass at Cardinal IG in Fargo. Cardinal IG is leading the industry in the development of superior glass for the residential window industry. Their highly motivated and talented employees design and manufacture the best glass in the industry.